Be silent, listen. An event shrouded in the shadows of history, unfolding on the eve of World War. There were no soldiers on the front lines, nor diplomats in the halls of power. The heroes and victims of this war were two ancient rulers of the sky. As history marked 1939, the world was seemingly on the brink of a great storm. The sounds of war echoed across Europe, with all nations watching each other in fear and apprehension. But amidst all this global turmoil, in Anatolia, a small village witnessed an unprecedented war. This war involved neither politicians nor soldiers. The sides of the conflict were two mighty rulers of the sky, eagles and storks. This event astonished the Turkish and world press at the time. Some thought it was a prophecy of the impending disaster, while others claimed it was an unknown balance of nature. This mysterious war remains unexplained by scientists even today and is remembered as one of the strangest pages of history. But amidst all this global chaos, in a secluded corner of the world, the seeds of a very different kind of war were being sown. This would become one of the strangest and most mysterious events in human history. It all began on August 14, 1939, in a small village in the Orhangazi district of Bursa. On that quiet morning, 6 eagles descending from the majestic peaks of Uludag launched what appeared to be a treacherous attack on a stork nest, right before everyone's eyes. Amidst the helpless gazes of the villagers, the mother and father stork perished. The eagles seized the 4 remaining hatchlings in the nest with their talons and flew away into the unknown. This ruthless event was not just a hunt. For the storks, it was a betrayal against their family and their kind. News of this attack spread with the wind to other stork colonies, and the flames of revenge would soon engulf the entire region. News of this attack spread with the wind to other stork colonies, and the flames of revenge would soon engulf the entire region. The war soon transcended the borders of Bursa. Although how the storks communicated among themselves remains a mystery, after this attack, thousands of storks began flocking towards Bursa. Similarly, eagles also gathered in Uludag and the surrounding mountainous regions, forming their own armies. The sky had virtually turned into a battlefield for 2 giant armies. The war quickly spread to the Menderes Delta in Aydin, and even to Thrace. For 2 months, a large-scale bird army conflict raged in the skies of Anatolia. It was like a natural disaster, a war that erupted without human intervention, governed entirely by the rules of animals themselves. The war quickly spread to the Menderes Delta in Aydin, and even to Thrace. For 2 months, a large-scale bird army conflict raged in the skies of Anatolia. It was like a natural disaster, a war that erupted without human intervention, governed entirely by the rules of animals themselves. The closest witnesses to this unprecedented conflict were the villagers. For them, this was not just a natural event but an issue that deeply concerned their hearts. The vast majority of the public sided with the storks, who greeted their homes and children every spring. It was the villagers who first extended a helping hand to the storks that fell wounded to the ground. Young people climbed the stork nests in the trees and fed the orphan chicks. Some even demanded that the Turkish Red Crescent help these animals due to the seriousness of the situation, and even that Marshal Fevzi Kakmak, the chief of the general staff at the time, intervened to put an end to this. Some even demanded that the Turkish Red Crescent help these animals due to the seriousness of the situation, and even that Marshal Fevzi Kakmak, the chief of the general staff at the time, intervened to put an end to this. This was a touching example of how humans are a part of nature and can sometimes take sides in war. The war, although a part of nature, was waged with its own ruthless tactics. Eagles created chaos by diving into stork flocks with their sharp talons and speed. But the storks did not stand idly by. While young and agile storks tired out the eagles, experienced and old storks delivered fatal blows to the exhausted predators with pecking attacks. Cities where the war spread are marked on the map, along with images symbolizing news coming from those regions. Although the exact numbers are unknown, reports suggest that more than 50 storks and nearly 40 eagles lost their lives in this war. Although the numbers indicated a victory for the storks, this scene of death witnessed by young children held no meaning of victory for anyone. This nature war in Turkey was met with astonishment not only in the local press but also in the world press. The respected American newspaper, the New York Times, had mentioned the struggle of the birds in Turkey to its readers. But what was the real reason behind this war? Scientists still do not have a clear answer. While some say it was due to the ecological imbalances of that year, for others, it was a prophecy of the approaching World War II. There were also those who believed that nature itself was sending a message to humanity. Whether it was a natural event or a prophecy, the 1939 Eagle-Stork War took its place as one of history's most mysterious and poignant events. Perhaps the most important lesson we can draw from this event is the fact that the balances within nature are incredibly complex and powerful. Who knows, perhaps those birds were speaking a language we couldn't understand. Maybe this war was a message to humanity, a silent warning that when the balance of nature is disrupted, it affects not only the birds but the entire world. Those who thought this war was a harbinger of World War II may not have been wrong. Could the great disasters that followed be a sign of how humanity disregarded the balance of nature? On that day, blood was spilled in the sky, and perhaps that was just the beginning of much greater catastrophes. Perhaps this tragic event of 1939 reminds us of a truth. Nature itself also wages war, and the biggest loser in this war is always those who ignore nature's warnings. So, as the echoes of the Eagle-Stork War fade into the annals of a peculiar history, we are left to ponder, what truly ignited such a conflict in the skies of Anatolia in 1939? Was it a unique, isolated incident, a bizarre quirk of nature? Or did it perhaps serve as a stark, symbolic whisper of the larger turmoils brewing on the human stage, a reflection of the imbalances we ourselves were creating? They say, "The earth does not belong to us, we belong to the earth." This ancient wisdom resonates even more profoundly when we consider such enigmatic events. The interconnectedness of all living things, the delicate dance of ecosystems, these are lessons often whispered by nature in ways we may struggle to comprehend. What parallels can we draw between that avian strife and the challenges our world faces today? Resource scarcity? Territorial disputes? The consequences of disrupting natural order? These are questions worth reflecting upon long after this video ends. We encourage you to delve deeper into this fascinating historical anomaly. Share your theories, your insights, and your perspectives in the comments below. What do you believe was the real cause of the Eagle-Stork War? And if you found this journey through history intriguing, if you're captivated by the extraordinary stories that often go untold, then don't forget to subscribe to the Histic channel. Join our community as we continue to unearth the mysteries and explore the remarkable tapestry of our past. Thank you for watching.